Welcome to the Sleepless Historian. If you find this content soothing, please consider liking and subscribing. Also, remember to turn on loop, so this gentle journey through history can repeat, allowing you to drift deeper into relaxation. Imale, ai, ai, Burnley. As you settle in, let the lights dim around you. Take a moment to adjust your pillow, perhaps snuggle a little deeper under your blanket. Let your breathing become slower and more deliberate, inviting calmness into the room. Yay. Today we embark on a rather mundane exploration. Our topic is the exceedingly dull history of Roman toga adjustment guidelines, a fabric-heavy saga filled with intricacies and nuances, focusing on the art of wearing this ancient garment. The toga, an iconic symbol of Roman citizenship, was not merely a piece of clothing. It was a complex fabric, requiring careful draping, folding, and adjustment. Imagine, if you will, the subtle gestures necessary to ensure that the toga fell just right, creating a fluid line that signified dignity and respect. Wow. As we unravel this topic, we will delve into the specific routines that Romans followed to maintain their togas. Each measurement was crucial. Each fold had its purpose. Slowly and gently, the toga transformed from a mere length of cloth into a statement of social standing. We will explore the etiquette surrounding toga adjustments, how in a bustling forum, a small fumble could lead to an awkward moment. And then, little by little, we will learn about the various types of togas and the specific adjustments that accompanied each style. So, breathe in softly and out as we prepare to drift into the quiet world of fabric and fashion, where the daily lives of Romans are revealed in the gentle nuances of their togas. Allow your thoughts to settle. Let the rhythm of history wrap around you like a soft, comforting fabric. Denor. As we continue our exploration of the toga, let us consider the tools and materials that were integral to creating and maintaining this elegant garment. The toga was typically crafted from wool, a material that was both warm and versatile. The softness of the fabric allowed for a graceful drape, while its weight added a sense of importance. Wool was often dyed in rich hues, and then meticulously woven into large rectangular pieces. The standard size of a toga could vary, but it was generally around 12 to 15 feet long and 6 to 7 feet wide. This generous length permitted the wearer to wrap the fabric around themselves, creating the desired folds and drapes. In preparation for wearing a toga, Romans would often begin with a simple undergarment known as the tunica. This tunic, typically made from linen, provided a comfortable base layer. The tunica was usually knee-length and loose-fitting, allowing for ease of movement. Once dressed in the tunica, the next step was to unroll the toga, smoothing out any wrinkles with gentle hands. To assist in this process, Romans often employed a small wooden implement known as a toga pin. This pin served to secure the toga at the shoulder, preventing any unwanted slips or awkward adjustments throughout the day. The toga pin was an essential accessory, often crafted from bronze or silver, and could be quite ornate, reflecting the status of the wearer. Now, let us turn our attention to the careful art of draping the toga. Romans were known for their precise measurements. The toga was typically draped over the left shoulder, then wrapped around the body in a series of folds. The right arm was left free, allowing for ease of movement and gesture. This specific style of draping was known as the toga pura, which was worn by citizens in good standing. To achieve the desired look, the fabric would be pulled taut, allowing for a smooth appearance. The excess fabric would then be gathered and folded over the shoulder in a manner that created a flowing cascade. As the toga was adjusted, a gentle tug here and a soft fold that would ensure that the garment hung gracefully. The time it took to properly adjust a toga could range from a few moments to several minutes, depending on the complexity of the folds and the individual's familiarity with the garment. In busy public spaces, such as the Forum, one could witness the occasional misstep. A slight breeze might displace the toga, causing a moment of concern. It was considered polite to assist someone struggling with their toga, gently guiding the fabric back into place. This act of etiquette was a reflection of the social mores of Roman society, where appearances were paramount, and the proper wearing of the toga was a mark of respectability. The care of the toga extended beyond its initial adjustment. Routine maintenance was essential to keep the fabric in pristine condition. Romans often used wooden hangers to store their togas when they were not being worn. This prevented creases from forming and allowed the fabric to breathe. The togas were also regularly cleaned, a process that required careful attention. Wool, though durable, could absorb odors and stains. To clean a toga, Romans would use a mixture of water and a gentle soap made from natural oils. This mixture would be applied with soft cloths, and the toga would be gently scrubbed to remove any impurities. The gentle rhythm of washing, rinsing, and drying created a soothing routine, much like the flow of time itself. Well. Once cleaned, the toga would be laid flat to dry in a shaded area, avoiding direct sunlight, which could cause the colors to fade. This drying process, while simple, was crucial to preserving the integrity of the fabric. As we contemplate the variety of togas, we find that each type had its own specific adjustments and significance. For example, the toga candida, which was worn by candidates for public office, was often whitened through a process of chalking. This garment required careful attention to ensure that it remained bright and unblemished. The preparation of a toga candida involved multiple washes and the application of chalk, followed by a meticulous folding process to maintain its crisp appearance. In contrast, the toga praetexta, adorned with a purple border, was worn by magistrates and young boys of noble birth. This toga required adjustments that highlighted the decorative border, emphasizing the wearer's status. The toga praetexta was typically draped in a way that allowed the border to remain visible, a detail not to be overlooked. The role of women in the maintenance of togas is also noteworthy. While men primarily wore togas, women were often responsible for their care. This included cleaning, folding, and presenting the toga for their husbands and sons. The act of preparing a toga was seen as an extension of domestic duty, a task imbued with respect for the family's social standing. In households, the schedule of toga preparation might resemble a gentle rhythm. Mornings would begin with the gathering of clean togas, followed by a careful inspection of each garment. Any minor repairs would be attended to, ensuring that every toga was in ready condition for the day ahead. Furthermore, the prices of togas could vary greatly, influenced by material quality and decoration. A simple wool toga could be procured for a modest sum, while elaborate togas with detailed embroidery could command a higher price. This economic aspect of toga ownership added another layer of complexity. as families made choices based on their social aspirations and economic realities. Now, as evening approached, it was common for families to engage in the ritual of unwrapping their togas after a long day. Each toga would be carefully removed and inspected, the folds gently released from the day's wear. This moment of transition marked the end of the day's duties, a time to unwind and reflect. In this quiet ritual, one could hear the soft rustle of wool against wool, the gentle unfolding of fabric echoing the day's events. The toga, once a symbol of status and identity, would rest for the night, awaiting the new day and its myriad of adjustments and attentions. Let us take a moment to breathe in softly and out, as we settle deeper into the comforting embrace of these historical nuances. Allow the rhythm of the toga adjustments to lull you into a sense of peace. Every detail, every fold, every gentle tug of the toga tells a story of daily life in ancient Rome. The quiet elegance of routine reminds us that the most mundane tasks can hold profound significance. So, drift along with these thoughts as we continue to explore the fabric-heavy saga of the Roman toga, where even the simplest adjustments can carry the weight of history. Yeah, I mean, as the day came to a gentle close in ancient Rome, the toga, with its intricate folds and soft drapery, awaited its evening routine of adjustment and care. The materials of the toga were often crafted from wool, a fiber both warm and versatile. The finest togas were made from the softest lamb's wool, lightly woven to create a fabric that draped beautifully. The texture was smooth to the touch, inviting the wearer to appreciate the comfort and elegance of their garment. Liao, Wanan? At the end of the day, the ritual of removing the toga began. Families would prepare for this task with care, gathering the necessary tools for the evening's adjustments. A simple wooden stool would be placed in a quiet corner of the atrium, a dedicated space for this intimate ritual. This stool was often adorned with a woven mat, providing a soft surface for the toga to rest upon. Ah, hey. With the stool in position, the wearer would stand quietly, allowing the fabric to cascade down their frame. The careful removal of the toga required a gentle touch, ensuring that no threads were pulled or seams strained. A light breeze might pass through an open window, rustling the fabric in a soothing manner. It was in this gentle environment that the adjustments could be made, little by little, with a sense of tranquility. Wanyo, Pidke, way. As the toga was removed, it would be laid out flat on the stool. The folds would need to be smoothed down, each crease gently pressed to ensure a neat appearance for the following day. This smoothing process was not rushed. It required a delicate hand and an attentive eye. The wearer would take their time, appreciating the rhythm of the fabric as it settled into place. Then, Tian Shoil. In English, the togas were typically stored in designated locations within the household. A simple wooden chest, often embellished with carvings of vines or leaves, served as a wardrobe for these garments. Inside, the togas would be carefully folded, ensuring that the weight of the wool did not cause any creases or damage. Each toga would be placed in its own section, preventing any entanglement or wear from one garment against another. Within this chest, one might find a variety of togas, each designated for different occasions. The toga virilis, a plain white garment, was reserved for young men entering adulthood. The toga picta, adorned with rich colors and intricate designs, was worn by victorious generals. And then there was the toga pulla, a dark robe worn during times of mourning. Each type of toga had its own significance, its own story, and each required its own care. Careful handling was paramount. The wearer would inspect each toga for any signs of wear, gently running their fingers along the seams and checking for loose threads. This inspection process could take several moments, as the tactile experience of the fabric was soothing, inviting a deep sense of calm. If a thread was found to be loose, a small needle and some fine woolen thread would be retrieved from a nearby sewing kit. With a gentle and steady hand, the wearer would begin the delicate process of mending, threading the needle with precision. This task, though small, was imbued with a sense of purpose. Each stitch was a reminder of the importance of maintaining one's garments, reflecting not only personal pride, but also respect for the craftsmanship involved in creating the toga. In anatomy, as the needle moved in and out of the fabric, there was a rhythm to the motion. In and out, in and out, each stitch securing the fabric, preserving its beauty. The quiet sound of the needle grazing the wool added to the atmosphere of calm, inviting thoughts to drift softly like clouds across the evening sky. Once the mending was complete, the toga would be folded again, this time with extra care. Each fold had to be precise. The toga needed to be ready for the next day's adventures. The corners were brought together, and then the fabric was gently tucked, creating a neat package that would fit comfortably in the wooden chest. This folding process was almost meditative. It allowed the wearer to reflect on the events of the day, to think back on conversations shared and moments lived. The rhythmic folding, one layer over another, invited a moment of peace amid the bustling life of Rome. As the evening deepened, the family would gather, perhaps sharing stories or discussing plans for the next day. The soft exchange of words filled the space, blending with the gentle sounds of fabric shifting and folding. It was a quiet reminder of the connections woven through daily life, much like the threads of the toga itself. No, Soon, the time would come to prepare for the next day's attire. The wearer would select a toga, perhaps the toga virilis for a day of social engagements. The fabric would be lifted from the chest, and the careful process of draping it over the shoulders would begin once more. This act of putting on the toga was almost like a ritual in itself, a transition from the private moments of home to the public life beyond. The toga was often adjusted in a specific manner. First, the fabric would be held against the body, with one end draped over the left shoulder. This placement was essential, as it allowed the toga to flow gracefully down the right side. The second end would then be wrapped around the body, neatly falling at the waist. This gentle wrapping required a keen sense of balance, as the wearer had to ensure that the fabric remained evenly distributed to avoid any awkwardness as they moved. Once draped, the toga would require some final adjustments, which could take a few moments. The wearer would step back slightly, assessing their reflection in a polished bronze mirror. This mirror, though not large, reflected the soft glow of the evening light and offered a final opportunity to smooth any creases or folds. There was an etiquette to be observed as well. When dressed in the toga, a Roman citizen was expected to carry themselves with dignity. This was a reminder of their social standing, a reflection of their identity within the vast tapestry of Roman society. Thus, every adjustment of the toga was not merely practical. It was an expression of self. Each fold and tuck told a story of tradition, of familial ties, and of personal pride. The evening routine of toga care, though simple, was steeped in a layered history. a quiet reminder of the past. Let us take a moment to breathe in softly and out, allowing these soothing details to wash over us. With each gentle breath, we settle deeper into the quietude, welcoming the rhythm of the toga adjustments as a lullaby for our minds. In the soft embrace of this evening ritual, we remember that even the most mundane tasks can be filled with warmth and purpose. As we lay our heads upon our pillows, let us carry with us the gentle echoes of the Roman toga, its folds and adjustments guiding us into a peaceful slumber. Each stitch, each fold, each moment reminds us of the beauty found in simplicity. Pawan. As the sun begins to dip below the horizon, casting a gentle golden hue over the ancient streets of Rome, we turn our attention back to the toga. This simple yet elegant garment, made from a single piece of wool fabric, was more than just clothing. It was a canvas upon which the subtleties of Roman life were painted. The wool, typically sourced from the flocks grazing on the undulating hills of the Italian countryside, varied in quality. The finest togas were crafted from soft, light wool, allowing for graceful draping and movement. To prepare a toga for the day, one must first obtain the necessary tools. A dedicated space was often set aside, perhaps a quiet corner of a room, where the toga could be laid out. The fabric would be inspected for any signs of wear or dirt. A soft brush, made of animal hair, was commonly used to gently remove dust, as the Romans cherished cleanliness in their attire. The brushing was done with slow, deliberate strokes, ensuring that every inch of fabric was attended to, every fold acknowledged. Nish, and Paul. While inspecting the toga, it was customary to check for the proper length. A toga should reach the ground, not trailing behind too far, nor falling short of the ankles. The ideal length was often around 6 to 8 feet, allowing for ample fabric to create the necessary folds. If adjustments were needed, a wooden measuring stick was employed, typically about 3 feet long. This stick, simple in design, served as a guide for both length and width. To maintain the toga's form, periodic washing was essential. The fabric was soaked in water, perhaps infused with natural oils, and gently agitated for a mere few moments. Following this, it would be spread out flat, allowing the fibers to relax as they dried. It was important to avoid direct sunlight, which could fade the rich colors of the wool. Instead, the toga would be hung in a shaded area, free from dust and dirt, where it could dry slowly and gently until it was ready for wear once more. When the time came to don the toga, the ritual began with an understanding of its structure. The toga was designed to be wrapped around the body in a specific manner. First, the fabric was held in the left hand, its length draped across the back from shoulder to waist. The right hand then guided the fabric across the body, tucking it securely beneath the left arm. This initial wrap was crucial, for it set the foundation for the rest of the garment's arrangement. Yay. Once the primary drape was secured, the next step involved creating the classic folds, known as the sinus. This was done by bringing the excess fabric that hung down over the left arm and carefully folding it back to create soft, cascading lines. Each fold had to be positioned with care, ensuring that it fell naturally, yet retained a sense of formality. This process was often done in front of a mirror, a reflective surface that allowed for adjustments as needed. Malfunctions. For those who needed assistance, family members or close friends were often called upon. The act of dressing in a toga became a shared experience, a moment of intimacy and care where each person contributed to the Uder's appearance. With gentle hands, they would help adjust the folds, ensuring that the toga sat comfortably and gracefully. Now, let us take a moment to breathe in deeply and out slowly, finding tranquility in this shared ritual. The sounds of soft voices and gentle laughter filled the air, echoing the harmonious nature of Roman society. As the toga was adjusted, small conversations would flow, perhaps about the day's plans or recent events. This social aspect was vital. It forged bonds and nurtured relationships, all while focusing on the delicate fabric of life. After the toga was properly arranged, it became essential to secure it. A simple cord, often made of linen or similar material, was wrapped around the waist. This cord, known as the balteus, served both practical and aesthetic purposes. Tied snugly, it ensured that the toga would remain in place throughout the day. The ends of the cord were typically left hanging in a deliberate manner, adding an element of style to the ensemble. Once donned, the toga required a degree of maintenance throughout the day. As a Roman citizen walked through the bustling streets, the toga would inevitably shift. Regular adjustments were necessary. With each step, one would discreetly pull the folds back into place, smoothing any creases that dared to appear. These adjustments were done with subtlety, a gentle tug here, a soft pat there. During formal gatherings or public speeches, the importance of the toga's appearance elevated. Citizens would often spend extra time making certain that their garments were immaculate, reflecting their status and respect for the occasion. It was not uncommon to see individuals pause momentarily, standing still as they adjusted their togas, ensuring that every detail was perfect. This gentle ritual created a rhythm in the air, a soft choreography of care and attention. Yeah, at the end of the day, when the sun dipped low and shadows elongated, the toga would be carefully removed. The fabric was treated with reverence, laid flat once more to maintain its shape. This was not merely a garment, but a symbol of the day's accomplishments and social interactions. The toga was then stored in a dedicated place, perhaps a wooden chest lined with soft cloth. This chest would often be kept in a cool, dry location, away from potential pests. A light sprinkle of herbs, such as lavender or rosemary, was sometimes added to keep the fabric fresh and fragrant. Slowly and gently, this ritual of care ensured the toga would be ready for the next day, preserving its elegance and the stories it carried. As we reflect upon this process, let us take another deep breath in and out, allowing the calm rhythm of toga care to settle within us. With each fold and tuck, we find a sense of peace, a reminder of the simplicity and beauty in daily life. The togas of ancient Rome were not merely garments, but vessels of history, each adjustment a whisper of the past, guiding us softly into the present moment. In all, each evening as the stars begin to twinkle in the night sky, the cycle of toga adjustment and care continues. This gentle, repetitive motion lulls us into a state of tranquility, where the mundane becomes a source of comfort. Each fold, each tuck, a step toward restful slumber. And hey, as the sun rises gently over the horizon, illuminating the city of Rome, another day begins. The ritual of toga adjustment is once again at hand. Each morning, citizens would rise with the first light, stretching their limbs and preparing for the day ahead. It is a time for softness and care, a time for the delicate art of draping fabric. The first step in this daily endeavor is to gather the necessary materials. A toga, usually made of wool, is often woven with great attention to detail. The fabric is typically around 20 feet in length, and its width can measure about 5 feet. This substantial amount of material allows for versatile draping, accommodating various styles and preferences. More. Once the toga is retrieved from its resting place, a quick inspection is performed. Fingers glide over the surface, checking for any signs of wear or damage. A small tear or a loose thread might call for a moment of mending. A simple needle and thread, perhaps a shade or two darker than the fabric, is all that is needed. The process is methodical and calming, a repetition of small stitches that brings a sense of fulfillment. After ensuring the toga is in pristine condition, it is time for the actual adjustment. The wearer stands tall, the fabric draped over the left shoulder, flowing gracefully across the body. The toga is then wrapped around the waist, making sure it is snug yet comfortable. This balance is essential, as the toga must allow for movement while maintaining its dignified appearance. Next, the excess fabric is carefully tucked into the waist. Each fold is crafted with intention, ensuring that it lies flat and smooth. This attention to detail is paramount. A well-adjusted toga reflects the wearer's status and respectability in society. A gentle tug here, a slight shift there, and the toga begins to take shape. I see. I'll sail for him too. It is traditionally advisable to stand before a polished surface or a small mirror during this process. The reflection helps the wearer gauge the toga's drape. This moment of self-assessment is often accompanied by a soft breath in and out, allowing the wearer to focus on their appearance and confidence. The adjustment doesn't stop at the draping. Accessories play a vital role in the overall presentation. A simple belt, often made of leather, can be added to secure the folds, providing further support. The leather strap, perhaps dyed in a rich hue, complements the fabric beautifully. It is wrapped around the waist, just above where the toga is tucked, creating a harmonious silhouette. The addition of a simple brooch or pin is also common. These small adornments, often fashioned from gold or silver, serve a dual purpose, both decorative and functional. They can help secure the toga at the shoulder, preventing any slips or shifts throughout the day. The careful placement of such accessories adds a layer of sophistication to the ensemble. Once the toga is adjusted and secured, the wearer may spend a few moments ensuring that every wrinkle is smoothed out. This final touch is essential, as a well-presented toga tells a story of care and attention. Little by little, the toga transforms from a simple piece of fabric into a symbol of dignity and respect. Now, let us pause and take a moment to breathe, softly and gently, allowing the rhythm of the day to settle within us. After the adjustments are complete, the wearer must consider the schedule ahead. The Roman day was often divided into distinct segments, with specific tasks and social obligations. Morning hours were typically reserved for business and civic duties. By midday, gatherings and discussions would take place in public forums. This structured approach to the day necessitated that the toga remained pristine, an ongoing reflection of the wearer's status. When attending public events, it was customary to greet others with a nod or a small gesture of the hand. The toga's flowing fabric would shift gracefully with these movements, reinforcing the elegance of simple interactions. To ensure that one is appropriately dressed, the toga should not be overly elaborate unless the occasion calls for it. Subtlety is often favored over ostentation in Roman society. As the afternoon gives way to evening, another round of care for the toga may be required. Depending on the day's activities, dust and dirt might cling to the woolen fabric. A soft brush, perhaps made from the bristles of a goat, is gently employed to remove any unwanted particles. This task is performed with a light hand, ensuring that the fabric remains undamaged. The cleaning process is a soothing ritual, requiring only a few moments of attention. The wearer brushes lightly, feeling the fibers respond. This is a serene experience, a moment of connection with the garment that has carried them through the day. Once the brushing is complete, the toga is folded again, ready for storage once more. This is done with great care, as the fabric must be treated gently, preserving the integrity of the weave. Each fold is crisp and deliberate, maintaining the toga's shape and preventing creasing. It is often said that the best way to store a toga is in a manner that allows it to breathe. A simple wooden chest lined with linen is ideal. The linen protects the fabric from moisture, while the wood permits airflow. A light sprinkle of herbs, such as dried lavender or rosemary, can be placed within the chest. These natural elements help to ward off unpleasant odors and pests, ensuring that the toga remains fresh for future wearings. Once the toga is secured in its resting place, the day's rituals come to a close. The process of toga adjustment, from the morning's preparations to the evening's care, is a gentle reminder of the cycle of life and the art of simplicity. Each movement, each adjustment plays a part in a larger narrative, a narrative of daily existence, elegance, and tradition. Now let us take another deep breath together, in and out, feeling the tranquility of this routine wash over us. The togas of ancient Rome, heavy with fabric yet light with history, guide us softly into restful slumber, inviting us to reflect on the beauty of mundane rituals that connect past and present, each fold and tuck whispering tales of old. Each fold and tuck whispering tales of old. Oh, Tandim Oh, film. As we delve deeper into the world of Roman togas, let us explore the precise tools and techniques that facilitated the care and adjustment of this iconic garment. The toga itself, often composed of fine wool or linen, was a significant investment for the wearer. Depending on the quality and intricacy of the fabric, a toga could cost anywhere from 50 to 100 denarii. This made the art of preservation and adjustment not just a matter of fashion, but of practicality and economy. To begin with, let us consider the tools one might need to properly adjust and care for a toga. A simple pair of scissors, perhaps made of bronze or iron, served as the primary cutting tool for any necessary alterations. The length of a toga typically ranged from 2 to 3 meters in length, draped elegantly to create folds that fell gracefully down the body. Adjustments might involve trimming the toga to a more suitable length, depending on the wearer's height or the season's trends. In addition to scissors, a measuring tape, made from a soft, flexible material like leather, was instrumental in ensuring precision. This measuring device would typically measure around 2 meters, allowing the wearer to gauge the necessary length and width of the folds. The act of measuring was often performed with great care, as a toga that was too long or too short could lead to discomfort or embarrassment. Once measurements were taken, the next step in the adjustment process involved pinning the fabric. Linen or silk pins, with their slender bodies and delicate heads, provided a means to hold the folds in place temporarily. Each pin was meticulously placed, ensuring that the fabric lay flat and even. This process required patience, as one must step back periodically to assess the overall appearance. It is said that adjustments could take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, depending on the complexity of the desired look. I am Cheryl. Horror. Now, let us take a moment to breathe deeply, in and out, as we consider the materials involved in this gentle craft. The wool used for togas was often dyed in rich colors, with hues ranging from deep crimson to vibrant indigo. The dyeing process was an intricate affair, involving the use of natural plant sources, such as madder for red and indigo plants for blue. This meant that the colors of one's toga could convey social status and personal taste. Oh no, Elsas. Immersion. After the initial pins were in place, the process of folding began. The toga was draped over the left shoulder, allowing the fabric to cascade across the body. This folding was not merely a practical adjustment. It was an art form, requiring a keen eye for balance and symmetry. The draping process typically took several minutes, as one would carefully adjust the fabric, allowing for a natural fall that accentuated the wearer's shape. Once the draping was complete, the final step involved securing the toga with a fibula, a decorative clasp often made of metal. The fibula served both a functional and aesthetic purpose. It held the toga in place, preventing it from slipping, while also adding an element of beauty. These clasps ranged in size and design, with some featuring intricate engravings or inlays. Each fibula could cost between 5 and 20 denarii, depending on its craftsmanship. After the toga was firmly secured, it was customary to take a moment to ensure that all folds were aligned and that the fabric lay smoothly against the skin. This gentle smoothing process was a personal ritual, allowing the wearer to feel confident and poised as they prepared to step out into public life. As we imagine the steady, calming motions of this routine, let us take another deep breath, in and out, allowing the serene imagery of toga adjustment to fill our minds. The attention to detail, the focus on the fabric, all serve as reminders of the care that goes into even the simplest of tasks. Following the morning adjustments, there was a dedicated time for storage, especially for those who owned multiple togas. It was customary to rotate the garments, allowing each piece to rest and breathe. This rotation would typically occur on a weekly basis, with the wearer selecting their toga based on the day's activities or social obligations. When it came to storage, the aforementioned wooden chest played a vital role. The chest was often beautifully crafted, with smooth surfaces and rounded edges. It would be lined with a soft, protective fabric, ensuring that the togas remained in pristine condition. Inside the chest, the togas were carefully folded, with each layer separated by a thin sheet of linen to prevent friction. It was also customary to include a small sachet of dried lavender or rosemary within the chest. The pleasant aroma of these herbs served not only to ward off pests, but also to impart a sense of calm and freshness to the garments. Each sachet was handmade, often filled with a small handful of dried herbs, tied tightly with a length of twine. The process of creating these sachets was a simple yet meditative task, often performed in the quiet moments of the day. Throughout the week, togas would be selected for various occasions, from casual gatherings to formal events. The decision on which toga to wear was often influenced by the day of the week or the specific activities planned. For instance, a lighter, more airy fabric may have been chosen for a leisurely afternoon, while a heavier wool might be reserved for evening gatherings when the temperatures drop. On the day of an important event, it was customary to prepare the toga well in advance. This might include an additional round of adjustments, ensuring that every fold was just right. The process could take anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes, depending on the complexity of the desired draping. In these quiet moments of preparation, the act of adjusting and caring for the toga became a form of meditation, a way to ground oneself in the present. As we continue to breathe slowly, in and out, we can appreciate the layers of meaning that a simple garment holds. Each adjustment, each careful fold, invites us to reflect on the connection between garment and identity. Boni. And so, the life of a toga, from its creation to its adjustment and storage, unfolds gently like the fabric itself. Each stage is filled with purposeful actions, bringing together the threads of daily life and the elegance of tradition. These rituals, though simple, remind us of the beauty found in the mundane, in the rhythm of fabric and care, and in the quiet moments shared with ourselves. As the toga is carefully draped, one might take a moment to gather the necessary tools for the task. The skilled toga wearer would typically rely on a simple collection of items. A mirror, perhaps positioned against a wall or resting atop a sturdy table, serves as a vital tool in this process. Its smooth surface reflects not only the physical appearance, but also the spirit of the toga. In addition to a mirror, the toga adjuster may find comfort in a small brush. This gentle tool helps remove any dust or debris that might cling to the fabric. A soft brush, made of fine goat hair, is preferable. The bristles glide softly across the wool, collecting the particles that may disrupt the toga's pristine appearance. The sensation of this brushing can be quite soothing, as it brings attention to the texture of the fabric. Additionally, a small bowl of water may be kept nearby. This water serves a dual purpose. It can help to dampen the fabric slightly, allowing for easier manipulation of the folds, or it may simply be refreshing for the hands. The cool sensation of water on the fingers invites a sense of calm, reminding the toga wearer to breathe in deeply, and then to exhale slowly. When selecting the fabric for the toga, attention to detail is paramount. Fabrics were often purchased by the linear foot, with prices varying based on quality. A standard toga might require anywhere from 6 to 12 feet of fabric. The cost of fine wool could be considerable, often taking a significant portion of a Roman citizen's monthly income. It was not uncommon for citizens to save for months or even years to afford a beautifully crafted toga. Once the toga is selected, the next step in this tranquil ritual is to prepare the area for dressing. The space should be free of clutter, allowing for a focused mindset. Perhaps a small table is prepared with folded linen on which to place the toga. The linen serves to protect the fabric from dust and to ensure that it remains unwrinkled before the event. The toga itself may be adorned with a simple cord or brooch, depending on personal taste and the occasion. A thin leather strap, known as the fascia, can be used to secure the toga at the waist, ensuring that the fabric drapes elegantly. The process of tying the fascia should be done meticulously, with the ends resting gently against the fabric, creating a seamless look. This small detail, enhances the overall presentation, while also providing a functional purpose. As the time to don the toga approaches, it is customary to allow for a few moments of reflection. This is a time to consider the significance of the event, the company to be kept, and the role that the toga plays in conveying identity. Each fold and drape communicates a story of societal status, personal expression, and cultural heritage. With this understanding, the toga wearer can approach the task with a sense of reverence. Igolo, anariche, wa, andom, andoishai. The actual process of putting on the toga begins with the fabric being held against the body, with one end draped over the shoulder. It is essential to ensure that the initial position is comfortable, allowing for movement without restriction. The fabric is then guided under the arm, around the back, and brought back to the front. This creates the first layer of folds. Slowly and gently, each movement is deliberate, allowing for a rhythm to form. Once the initial draping is complete, the toga wearer may step back to examine the reflection in the mirror. It is an essential part of the process to assess how the folds align and whether they fall gracefully. The observer's eye catches any inconsistencies, any areas that require a touch more care. With a soft touch, adjustments are made. Perhaps the fabric needs to be pulled slightly here or tucked in there, ensuring that the overall silhouette is pleasing. After the first assessment, the toga wearer may choose to gather the fabric at one side, drawing it into a gentle fold that cascades beautifully down the body. The folds should appear as natural as possible, mimicking the flow of the draping we see in classical sculptures. Each fold is a testament to the art of toga adjustment, a dance of fabric and form. At this point, it is common to take a moment to breathe deeply. Inhale and exhale, allowing the body to relax. The weight of the fabric can be felt, providing a comforting reminder of its significance. Inchi, now, Next, the toga wearer may take the time to secure the folds. This might involve the use of small pins or brooches, delicately placed to hold the fabric in place, yet done so discreetly, so as not to disrupt the overall appearance. The careful positioning of these pins may take several attempts, each adjustment contributing to the final look. On days when the toga is worn for extended periods, it is advisable to consider comfort. The fabric may feel heavier as the day progresses. Therefore, the wearer often takes the time to loosen fascia slightly, allowing for ease of movement. This adjustment can be made without removing the toga, a testament to the practicality of the design. As the final touches are applied, the toga wearer may choose to don a light tunic underneath. This additional layer serves to protect the skin from the wool's texture, providing added comfort during wear. The tunic should be fitted but not restrictive, allowing for the graceful draping of the toga to take center stage. Once the toga is fully in place, the time is taken to inspect the overall appearance once again. The mirror reflects the culmination of careful preparation, the soft hues of the fabric, and the gentle folds of each fold. The toga, now properly adjusted, becomes a symbol of dignity and tradition, a reminder of the rich history that surrounds its very existence. The act of dressing in a toga is not merely an act of putting on clothing. It is a ritual steeped in tradition. The experience invites a sense of connection to the past, a whisper of the lives lived before, each fold a memory, each adjustment a nod to those who have donned this fabric throughout history. Yeah. And so, as the preparations draw to a close, the toga wearer stands ready. Breathe in and out, feeling the weight of the fabric resting comfortably against the body. In these serene moments, we are reminded that every aspect of the toga, from its intricate folds to its soft texture, carries with it a legacy, a gentle reminder of the elegance found in simplicity. Elino, Aninsense, Bessie. As the toga wearer stands before the mirror, a small wooden dressing table nearby holds the essential tools for final adjustments. On this table, one might find a delicate pair of bronze pins, each polished to a soft sheen, ready to secure the folds of the toga in place. These pins, often used by the Romans to ensure the garment maintains its form, are invaluable for those who appreciate the importance of neatness in appearance. The toga itself, made from fine wool or linen, often comes in varying weights and textures. Lighter fabrics are preferred for warmer days, while thicker materials are reserved for cooler seasons. The cost of such materials could vary widely, with simple wool togas costing about 10 denarii, while a finely woven linen toga could reach as high as 50 denarii or more. These costs reflect not just the material, but the craftsmanship involved in creating each garment. Whoa. Once the toga is draped, the wearer may take a moment to evaluate its alignment with the body, ensuring that the garment flows harmoniously with each movement. The toga should settle naturally, creating soft, cascading folds that elegantly frame the figure. It is during this quiet evaluation that one might notice any minor imperfections or adjustments needed, such as uneven folds or a slightly askew drape. To assist in these adjustments, a small hand mirror can be quite useful, allowing the wearer to see their reflection from various angles. This mirror, often adorned with simple carvings, provides a glimpse into the artistry of Roman craftsmanship, reflecting not only the individual's appearance, but also the era's aesthetic values. The gentle glow of the lamp casts a warm light, highlighting the toga's texture, drawing attention to the soft interplay of shadows and forms. Next, the process of securing the toga begins. The wearer may reach for the bronze pins, carefully inserting them at strategic points where the fabric overlaps. Each pin is placed with intention, ensuring that the toga remains securely fastened throughout the day's activities. This meticulous attention to detail is not merely for aesthetic purposes. It also speaks to the cultural significance of the toga, a garment that symbolizes one's status and identity within Roman society. As the pins find their places, the wearer may then adjust the length of the toga, ensuring that it falls gracefully around the feet. Traditionally, the toga should reach just above the ankle, allowing for ease of movement. This length is not only practical, but also adheres to the expectations of propriety within public settings. The careful measurement of the toga's length is essential, as a garment that is too long may trip the wearer, while one that is too short may be considered undignified. In this moment of preparation, one reflects on the time spent dressing. The act of donning a toga can take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, depending on one's familiarity with the garment and the intricacy of the draping. Each second spent is a moment of connection with history, a shared experience with those who walked the streets of Rome centuries before. Once the toga is secured, the focus shifts to the accompanying accessories. The wearer may choose to add a simple leather sandal, its straps designed to wrap comfortably around the foot and up the ankle. This choice of footwear often reflects personal style, as well as the occasion for which the toga is worn. Sandals of varying designs can be found, ranging from the plain to the more intricate, each choice adding another layer to the overall presentation. The choice of accessories also extends to the head. A laurel wreath, made of carefully twisted leaves, might be placed atop the head, signifying achievement or honor. This small addition requires its own delicate handling. The wreath should not be too tight nor too loose, allowing for comfort while still maintaining its position. The act of adjusting the wreath mirrors the care taken with the toga itself, echoing the importance of one's overall appearance. Oh. As the final touches are made, the wearer may take a moment to breathe deeply, inhaling the subtle scents of the fabrics, the faint aroma of the oils used on the skin, and the earthy fragrance of the room. It is in this serene atmosphere that one finds a sense of calm, a stillness that envelops the moment before stepping out into the world. The gentle rhythm of preparation repeats, each action performed mindfully, with attention to detail. The wearer may check the toga one last time, adjusting the folds just so, ensuring that each drape falls gracefully. This final inspection is not merely a routine, but a soft affirmation of the care taken in the process of dressing. What? Oh, yeah. Shui was in Shiwa. Once the toga wearer feels content with their appearance, it is customary to pause and reflect. The mirror once again provides a chance to appreciate the full ensemble, a harmonious blend of fabric, form, and intention. In this moment of quiet, the significance of the toga transforms from mere clothing to a powerful representation of identity and tradition. As the time to venture outside approaches, one might consider the etiquette of wearing a toga in public. It is customary to maintain a composed demeanor, embodying the dignity associated with such a garment. The toga is not merely a shield against the elements. It is a garment that conveys respect for oneself and others. Walking through the streets of Rome, the toga wearer moves with a sense of purpose. Each step is a continuation of the ritual, a gentle sway of fabric and form. The streets, lined with bustling markets and quiet corners, offer a backdrop to this timeless tradition. Every interaction, every glance shared becomes part of the intricate tapestry of daily life. The care taken in dressing extends beyond personal appearance. It influences the way one engages with the world. A well-adjusted toga fosters confidence, allowing the wearer to navigate social situations with ease. The rhythm of life continues, each moment echoing the care and tradition woven into the fabric of the toga, a reminder of the beauty found within the mundane. In these soothing moments, let us breathe in and out, embracing the simplicity of the ritual. Each fold, each pin, each adjustment serves as a reminder that in the quietude of preparation lies a connection to history, a gentle thread weaving through time. As the toga envelops the body, it invites a sense of belonging, a reminder that we are part of a larger narrative woven together by the threads of our shared experiences. Rin, Sifo. And as the day unfolds, the toga remains a steadfast companion, a gentle reminder of the elegance found in the ordinary, inviting us to pause, to breathe, and to appreciate the fabric of our daily lives. Slowly and gently, the world awaits. So, as the sun begins to rise over the ancient streets of Rome, the gentle sounds of morning echo through the bustling city. Citizens begin their day, and the first task for many is the careful selection and adjustment of their togas. Each toga, a large piece of fabric, commonly made from wool, linen, or a blend of both, is meticulously draped over the body, signaling both status and identity. The size of these togas often varies, commonly measuring around 4 to 6 meters in length. This generous amount of fabric allows for the intricate folds and tucks that characterize the ideal toga. Before donning the toga, it is essential to prepare the fabric. The fabric must be washed and cleaned, ensuring that it is free of dust and dirt. Gentle detergents made from olive oil or natural soaps are used, reflecting the care that Romans placed on personal hygiene and appearance. The washing process takes time, allowing the fabric to soak and absorb the cleansing elements. Afterward, it is hung to dry in the warm sunlight, a natural method of ensuring freshness. Once the toga is dry, it is time to fold it with precision. To achieve the perfect folds, the toga is placed on a flat surface. Each fold should be about 20 to 30 centimeters wide, allowing the fabric to drape elegantly when worn. The folds are arranged symmetrically, creating a balance that is essential to the toga's aesthetic. When folding, one must be mindful of the direction of the weave, ensuring that the fabric flows seamlessly. This ritual of preparation requires patience and care, embodying the values of Roman society. After the folding, the toga is ready to be worn. The process begins with the wearer standing upright, feet shoulder-width apart. The toga is held with one hand, draping it over the shoulder. The fabric is then brought around the back, creating a loop that returns to the front. This wrapping technique is crucial, as it sets the foundation for the toga's overall appearance. The fabric should rest lightly on the shoulder, allowing for freedom of movement. Next, the toga is gathered at the waist, where it is secured with a simple belt or fibula, a decorative brooch that not only holds the fabric in place, but also adds an element of style. The belt is typically made of leather or fabric and is adjusted to fit snugly against the waist, ensuring that the toga remains securely in place throughout the day. The adjustment of the belt is a delicate task, requiring a gentle pull to ensure comfort without compromising the toga's drape. As the toga is worn, the folds must be adjusted periodically. This is a subtle yet essential aspect of toga etiquette. Throughout the day, the wearer may find it necessary to smooth out creases or rearrange the fabric to maintain its elegant appearance. It is common practice to excuse oneself briefly, perhaps to a private space where the necessary adjustments can be made. The process of adjustment is not merely about aesthetics. It reflects the wearer's awareness of their surroundings and their desire to engage respectfully with others. A well-presented toga conveys a sense of dignity and self-respect. The adjustments may take only a moment, yet they carry with them the weight of tradition and social expectation. Storage of the toga also plays a role in its care. When not in use, togas are typically folded and hung in a cool, dry place. The act of folding is done carefully, ensuring that the fabric is not creased or damaged. Some Romans use wooden hangers or linen bags to protect their togas from dust. The price of a good quality toga can vary considerably, ranging from a few denarii for a simple, unadorned version to several hundred denarii for finely woven, elaborate styles. Such investment reflects the importance of the toga in Roman culture as it is not merely a piece of clothing but an emblem of status and identity. Mm. B. In social gatherings, the act of adjusting one's toga may be seen as a reflection of one's attentiveness to the social fabric of the community. At formal events such as banquets or public ceremonies, the toga must be worn with particular care. The fabric is usually draped to convey respect and decorum, reflecting the importance of the occasion. During these events, there may be a designated time for attendees to mingle and engage in conversation. As conversations flow, so too does the need for occasional adjustments. A light tug here, a gentle pull there, all while maintaining a composed demeanor becomes the rhythm of social interaction. Etiquette dictates that one should never draw excessive attention to the act of adjusting one's toga. Instead, these adjustments should blend seamlessly into the conversation, a gentle reminder of the importance of poise and grace. The art of toga adjustment can be likened to a dance, subtle, fluid, and harmonious. As the day progresses, the wearer's toga may begin to shift, requiring small alterations. A brief pause to assess the fabric's placement can be reassuring. The gentle act of smoothing down the folds, feeling the texture of the fabric beneath one's fingers, invites a sense of calm and mindfulness. In these moments of tranquility, the wearer may reflect on the history woven into their toga. Each fold and pin becomes a reminder of those who have come before, navigating similar moments of daily life. The toga is more than just a garment. It is a connection to the past, a thread linking the present with centuries of tradition. Thus, as the sun begins to set on the busy streets of Rome, the day draws to a close. The careful adjustments, the mindful interactions, and the attention to fabric all come together to create a tapestry of daily life. A soft sigh escapes as the toga is removed, each fold released with gratitude for the day spent in its embrace. The cycle of preparation and adjustment continues. Each day, a new opportunity to embrace the simplicity of this ancient tradition. The toga, with all its intricacies and nuances, remains a gentle reminder of the elegance found within the mundane. Each adjustment, each care taken, becomes part of a shared history, inviting us to pause, to breathe, and to appreciate the fabric of our daily lives. As the evening light filters softly through the windows of a modest Roman home, the rituals surrounding the toga begin anew. The evening atmosphere is tranquil, inviting one to reflect on the careful preparations that precede wearing this distinguished garment. In the corner of the room, a wooden chest, perhaps crafted from local timber, stands patiently. This chest, often adorned with intricate carvings, serves as a storage place for the family's togas. The wood is cool to the touch, its texture a contrast to the soft fabric folded inside. Each toga, meticulously folded, is stored with care. It is important to keep the fabric free from dust, as the residents understand well that cleanliness reflects not only personal pride, but also respect for the traditions of their ancestors. To maintain the quality of these garments, the family employs a simple yet effective technique. They use linen cloths, delicately placed over the folded togas, ensuring that each piece is protected from the ravages of time and the wear of daily use. A typical toga measures approximately 12 to 20 feet in length, depending on the status and preference of the wearer. The fabric is usually wool, chosen for its durability and warmth. The price of good quality wool can vary, often ranging from 1 to 4 denarii per pound, making its selection an important decision. When it comes time to wear the toga, the process unfolds in a series of gentle, methodical steps. First, the wearer must stand before a mirror, perhaps crafted from polished bronze, reflecting the soft flicker of nearby oil lamps. The first step involves draping the toga over the left shoulder, allowing it to cascade down the back with elegance. The fabric should fall gracefully, enveloping the body without restriction. Next, the wearer takes the right side of the toga and wraps it across the front, tucking it under the belt, known as the cingulum, or du, away, b d esta. This belt is often made of leather or fabric, serving both functional and decorative purposes. As the toga is adjusted, the wearer must be mindful of the fabric's weight and texture. Wool, although warm, can be somewhat heavy, and the adjustments require a gentle touch. Each tug, each repositioning of the folds, is a deliberate act of care and consideration. Once the toga is in place, the next step is to ensure that it hangs properly. The fabric should be symmetrical, falling evenly on both sides. This symmetry is crucial, for it signifies balance, an important aspect of Roman ideals. The wearer may take a moment to adjust the folds, ensuring that they lie flat against the body. This process can take several minutes, as the attention to detail is paramount. It is common to observe family members assisting one another, offering gentle guidance or making adjustments to ensure that all is just right. This communal aspect of dressing in togas fosters a sense of unity and shared tradition. After achieving the desired arrangement, the final touch involves the use of a simple pin or brooch, often made of bronze or silver, to secure the toga in place. This small accessory, while practical, can also be a reflection of personal style, with designs varying from simple to ornate. The pin is carefully positioned at the shoulder, ensuring that the toga remains secure during movement. The placement of the pin is significant. It must be placed just so, neither too high nor too low, creating a pleasing line along the shoulder. It is at this moment that the wearer takes a deep breath, feeling the fabric settle comfortably against the skin. The weight of the wool, the drape of the toga, and the knowledge of its history weave together to create a profound sense of belonging. Once adorned, individuals may take a moment to admire their reflection. The toga, with its flowing lines, embodies the ideals of Roman citizenship and status. Many may choose to stand for a moment longer, contemplating the responsibilities that come with wearing such a garment. During social gatherings, the etiquette surrounding the toga remains significant. It is customary to adjust one's toga upon entering a room, ensuring that the fabric presents well. This is often accompanied by a gentle smile and a nod of acknowledgement to others present. Conversations flow more freely when individuals feel comfortable in their attire. The toga facilitates this, allowing for ease of movement while embodying the elegance of Roman society. Throughout the evening, the wearer may find themselves making subtle adjustments, perhaps a soft tug at the shoulder, or a small repositioning of the fabric at the waist. Each movement is instinctive, reflecting a deep understanding of comfort and style. When dining, the toga presents its own set of challenges. Careful folding and adjustment are necessary to accommodate the act of eating. The fabric must be arranged to avoid any potential spills, as cleanliness is held in high regard. Often, A small piece of food may be dropped during a meal, and in these moments, the toga serves as a shield. The wearer must be prepared, ready to make quick adjustments, perhaps lifting the fabric slightly to protect themselves. After the meal is finished, the toga may require some care. Many families employ a dedicated servant or family member to assist in the maintenance of the garment. This ensures that the fabric remains pristine, ready for the next day's adventures. The process of caring for togas involves gentle washing with mild soap and the use of cold water. It is advisable to avoid harsh chemicals, as they can compromise the integrity of the wool. Once washed, the toga should be dried in a shaded area, away from direct sunlight. The warmth of the sun, while comforting, can fade the rich colors of the fabric over time. As the evening winds down, the final adjustments are made for the night. The toga may be folded carefully, returning it to its place in the wooden chest, each fold a promise of another day to come. Nay. The gentle whispers of wool against wool accompany these final moments, creating a soothing rhythm. Each crease, each fold, is a reminder of the day's journey, a journey that will continue tomorrow, with new adjustments and new opportunities for connection. With the toga safely stored away, the quiet of the evening envelops the home. The rhythm of daily life persists, wrapped in the soft embrace of tradition and memory. The toga, while simple, holds within it a wealth of stories, woven from the fabric of existence itself. No. As the sun begins to set, the day's end brings with it a serene calm, a time for reflection and preparation for the next cycle of life. The toga, a cherished garment, deserves meticulous care and attention. Each fold, each wrinkle, holds the memory of the day. To prepare the toga for storage, one might gather a few simple tools. A flat surface, perhaps a wooden table or a soft mat, will suffice. The texture of the surface should be smooth, allowing the fabric to glide easily as it is handled. A gentle brush, made from soft bristles, can be used to remove any dust or small particles that may have gathered during the day. This act, though simple, is essential for maintaining the toga's pristine appearance. One might take a moment to appreciate the weight of the toga, its rich woolen fibers, a testament to the craftsmanship of the weaver. The fabric can weigh anywhere from 1 to 3 kilograms, depending on its size and the thickness of the wool. This weight adds a comforting presence, a gentle reminder of its significance in Roman life. After brushing, the toga should be inspected for any signs of wear. Small snags or loose threads may sometimes occur. A fine needle and thread, preferably in a color that matches the fabric, can be kept on hand for these minor repairs. The process of stitching is slow and deliberate, requiring patience and a steady hand. Each stitch, a small act of devotion, ensures that the toga remains whole and ready for use. Once clean and mended, the toga is ready to be folded. The folding process is a ritual of sorts, a careful choreography of fabric and space. One begins by laying the toga flat on the surface, smoothing out any wrinkles with gentle hands. To fold the toga properly, one must first bring the two long ends together, aligning them so that they meet in the center. This creates a rectangle, a shape that is both pleasing and functional. The next step is to fold the top portion down, approximately 1/3 of the way, so that the fabric sits neatly atop itself. This layer acts as a gentle barrier, protecting the inner folds. Whining, oh nay. Then the bottom portion is folded up, overlapping the top layer slightly. This method not only secures the toga, but also ensures that it retains its shape while resting in storage. Each fold is a gentle reminder of the toga's purpose, a connection to the past, where every curve and crease is infused with history. The final fold is made by bringing the sides inward, which creates a compact, manageable packet. This refined bundle can be easily placed within the wooden chest, which is likely lined with soft fabric to prevent any scratching or damage. The chest itself may be adorned with simple carvings, perhaps depicting scenes of daily life, a reflection of Roman values. When placing the toga inside the chest, it is customary to position it with care. The most recently worn toga is often placed on top, allowing for easy access in the morning. Each evening, as the toga is stored, a sense of completion washes over the room. The chest remains a quiet sentinel, holding not just fabric but the essence of the wearer's experiences. It is beneficial to keep the chest in a cool, dry place, as humidity can lead to the growth of mold, which is not only unsightly but damaging to the wool. The care of the toga extends beyond washing and folding. An air of etiquette surrounds its wearing and handling. In public gatherings, the toga must be draped just so, ensuring that the fabric flows gracefully, enhancing the stature of the wearer. The proper draping of a toga requires a few simple steps. Upon putting it on, one must first hold the toga at its midpoint, allowing it to cascade over the shoulders. The fabric should be arranged so that the right side falls elegantly down the back, while the left side is drawn across the front of the body. This creates an inviting silhouette, one that reflects the dignity of the wearer. With the toga draped correctly, careful adjustments are made. The fabric must be tucked in behind the waist, forming a secure and graceful belt that allows for free movement. A simple cord, perhaps made of leather, can be used to cinch the toga at the waist, holding everything in place with gentle security. During formal events, it is considered polite to ensure that the toga is worn symmetrically. This means checking in mirrors or with a trusted friend, ensuring that the folds on either side are even and aligned. Such attention to detail reflects not only personal pride, but also a respect for the social occasion at hand. The etiquette extends to the colors and patterns of the toga as well. The hue of the fabric can signify different social statuses. A plain white toga, known as the toga pura, is suitable for everyday use and signifies a modest standing. In contrast, a toga with purple stripes, known as the toga praetexta, is reserved for magistrates and those of higher rank. Understanding these subtle nuances enriches one's experience, creating a deeper connection to the traditions of Rome. The cost of a toga could vary significantly, depending on the quality of the fabric and the intricacy of the craftsmanship. A simple toga may be purchased for a modest sum, while a finely woven garment could command a higher price, sometimes equivalent to several days' wages. When considering how to acquire a toga, one might visit a local market where skilled tailors display their wares. Each stall is filled with the vibrant colors of wool, the air rich with the scent of fresh fabric. The process of selecting a toga can be both exciting and calming, as the tactile experience of touching the wool adds to the anticipation of ownership. Once purchased, the toga is often a personal investment, something to cherish and maintain. Thus, the ongoing relationship with the toga is nurtured through care, attention, and respect. As the evening settles deeper, the rhythmic sounds of the household continue to echo softly. The toga, resting peacefully in its chest, awaits the dawn of another day, ready to accompany its wearer on yet another journey through the fabric of life. Each fold, each stitch is a promise of connection, of tradition, and of the simplicity that is woven into the very essence of existence. What a day! She. The practice of wearing a toga was not merely an act of adornment. It was a ritual steeped in procedure and tradition. Each morning, as the sun began to cast its first gentle rays across the rooftops of Rome, the careful preparations would begin. The toga itself, often stored in a dedicated space within the home, was typically kept in a wooden chest, lined with soft cloth to prevent wear. The chest would be opened with a deliberate slowness, revealing the folds of fabric nestled together like whispers of the past. To begin the day, one would gently unfold the toga, careful to smooth out any creases. This process could take a few moments, as the soft wool required a tender hand. The fabric, measured typically at around 6 to 12 feet in length, depending on the style desired, would be laid flat on a clean surface. The texture of the wool would be warm to the touch, inviting the wearer to appreciate the craftsmanship involved. No. As the toga was laid out, it was important to assess its form. The toga was a single piece of fabric, yet it required a series of precise adjustments to be worn correctly. The length would be measured against the wearer, ensuring it draped gracefully from shoulder to toe. If the toga was too long, the wearer would need to tuck the excess fabric into the belt or girdle, known as the zona. This was a simple yet essential step, as a long toga could impede movement. The zona itself was often made of a contrasting fabric, sometimes adorned with embroidery or simple knots. It functioned not only to hold the toga in place, but also to accentuate the wearer's stature. The zona would be wrapped around the waist, typically at the level of the natural waist, and drawn snugly to provide support. The resulting silhouette was crucial. A well-adjusted toga conveyed a sense of dignity and poise. Once the toga was secured at the waist, the next step involved draping the fabric over the shoulder. This was a delicate maneuver, one that required practice and patience. The toga was traditionally worn over the left shoulder, allowing it to cascade down the right side. This drape was not merely aesthetic. It provided a functional aspect, allowing for ease of movement while still maintaining an air of elegance. As one adjusted the toga, the folds needed to be arranged with care. A well-placed fold could enhance the flow of the garment, allowing it to catch the light softly as the wearer moved. The folds would be gently tugged into place, ensuring that the toga hung smoothly without any distracting bunching. This process could take a few moments, as the wearer would step back occasionally to assess the overall appearance. Sheesh. Etiquette dictated that the toga should be worn in a manner that reflected one's status within society. For example, citizens and senators might wear a toga with a distinctive purple stripe, indicating their rank. This addition was not merely decorative. It was a clear signal to others in the community, a visual representation of one's role. Understanding these subtle cues was part of the day-to-day fabric of Roman life. The act of wearing the toga was also about timing. Traditionally, togas were donned when leaving the home, as the garment was associated with public life. Morning hours were often filled with visits to the forum, where discussions of politics and trade would unfold. Thus, the time spent preparing the toga was an investment in one's presence within the community. Once adjusted, the garment would be inspected from all angles. A mirror, if available, would reflect the image back, allowing the wearer to make final adjustments. This reflective process was calming, encouraging a moment of self-assurance before stepping out into the world. As the sun continued its ascent, the final touches could include the addition of an outer garment known as the pallium. This lightweight layer, often made from a similar wool, could be draped over the toga, providing both warmth and an additional stylistic element. The pallium would be adjusted to ensure it complemented the toga, wrapping around the shoulders in a soft embrace. When venturing outside, it was customary to be mindful of one's surroundings. The toga, while beautiful, was also a fabric that could easily catch on objects or get caught in the wind. This awareness was essential, particularly in crowded spaces. The movement of the toga was fluid, but one must navigate with care to avoid any wardrobe malfunctions. Throughout the day, the toga would require occasional adjustments. As one moved, the fabric might shift, and a gentle tug at the shoulder or waist would restore its intended form. This was not seen as a chore. Rather, it was part of the ongoing relationship with the garment. Each adjustment, each careful management of the fabric, became a comforting routine, a familiar song in the rhythm of daily life. As evening approached, the ritual of returning home began. The process of removing the toga was just as methodical as putting it on. One would unfasten the zona, allowing the fabric to fall gracefully from the shoulders. It would be laid out carefully again, smoothing out wrinkles, ensuring it was ready for the next day. Finally, the toga would be folded in a manner that preserved its shape, allowing it to rest until the sun rose again. The careful folding involved bringing the fabric together, ensuring that each fold was precise, aligning the edges to avoid any unwanted creases. This act, though simple, was a moment of respect and appreciation for the garment that had accompanied the wearer through the day. As it settled into the chest, the soft wool remained a reminder of the day's experiences. The toga, a simple piece of cloth, held within it the stories and moments of life in Rome. Its presence lingered in the air, whispering of tradition, of dignity, and of the gentle flow of time. And so, little by little, the day would fade into night. The toga, always waiting, would continue to weave its gentle tale of existence, wrapped in the fabric of history, echoing softly through the corridors of time. As the evening settles in, the gentle rhythm of Roman life continues, with the simple yet intricate routine of toga maintenance. Each day, the toga required a careful assessment, starting with the materials used. The fabric, typically wool, varied in thickness and quality. High-quality togas, known as the toga praetexta, were often adorned with a purple stripe, a mark of status and privilege. The color purple was quite rare, often derived from the murex sea snail, making these garments not just clothes, but symbols of wealth, worth, and the fabric of society. To care for such a precious garment, one would need specific tools and materials. A simple wooden hanger, often made of olive wood, was ideal for storing the toga when not in use. This hanger would allow the fabric to breathe, preventing moisture buildup that could lead to mildew. If the toga became soiled, a gentle cleaning process was paramount. This would involve a soft cloth, soaked in water, perhaps mixed with a little olive oil, which acted as a natural cleanser. The soiled area would be blotted carefully, never rubbed, as to preserve the delicate weave of the fabric. This process, gentle and deliberate, could take several minutes, depending on the severity of the stain. Once cleaned, the toga would be laid flat on a clean surface. It would be rolled up with care, allowing it to air dry slowly. The drying process could take a few hours, and it was essential to monitor the toga during this time, ensuring it was not left in direct sunlight, which could fade the color and weaken the fibers. After drying, the next step was smoothing the fabric. A simple stone or wooden board, known as a caliga, could be used to press out any wrinkles. This pressing was done gently, with even pressure applied across the surface. The toga would be laid on the board, and the press would glide over it slowly, inch by inch. With each gentle stroke, the fabric would become smoother, more inviting, and ready to be worn once more. Understanding the importance of proper storage, a toga would be folded neatly. The folding process involved bringing the two ends together, ensuring they aligned perfectly. This would create a long rectangle, the fabric now resembling a large, plush envelope. Each fold was made with intention, creating small, precise sections. The edges were aligned with care, avoiding any creases that might form during storage. This method allowed the toga to maintain its shape and softness, ready for the next day's adventures. The daily schedule of toga wearing was also a factor to consider. In Rome, the toga was typically worn during daylight hours. Morning light would signal the start of the day, and the toga was donned as part of the morning routine. The dressing process could take around 10 minutes, depending on the complexity of the draping. A well-practiced individual, familiar with the folds and adjustments, would glide through this process, ensuring the toga sat right on the body. The key was in the layers. The toga was draped over the left shoulder, falling across the body, and then wrapped around the back, before being brought to the front again. This left the right arm free, allowing for ease of movement. The exact placement of the folds was essential, as it dictated not only comfort, but also the toga's aesthetic appeal. The folds were often adjusted throughout the day, as movement would naturally cause them to shift. Etiquette played a crucial role in the wearing of the toga. In formal settings, the toga needed to be presented in a manner that exhibited dignity and respect. The wearer would often check their reflection in a polished bronze mirror, making minor adjustments as needed. These adjustments would be made discreetly, with soft movements of the hands to ensure the fabric settled perfectly. While the toga was indeed a symbol of Roman citizenship, it was also a garment that indicated one's social standing and adherence to societal norms. Different colors and styles denoted various ranks, with the toga candida, a bright white toga worn by candidates for office, being particularly notable. This garment was often starched and pressed to an immaculate sheen, highlighting the candidate's commitment to public service and cleanliness. Throughout the day, the toga would accompany the wearer to various locations, from the bustling forums to quiet gardens. Each place required a subtle adjustment of the toga, ensuring that it remained dignified and appropriate for the setting. Gathering in groups, conversations flowed easily, with the fabric of the toga moving and swaying with each gesture. The act of adjusting the toga was almost a dance, a rhythm of movement that echoed the conversation's unfolding. Each slight tug or repositioning brought the fabric closer to its ideal form. In public, It was customary to ensure that the toga draped elegantly, avoiding any appearance of disarray. A well-maintained toga was a reflection of one's character, and thus, attention to detail was paramount. At the end of the day, as the sun began to set, the toga would be carefully removed. This final act of the day, like a slow exhale, signified the transition from the public sphere to the privacy of home. The wearer would unfasten the zona, allowing the fabric to slide off the shoulders, taking with it the weight of the day. The toga, once again, would be laid out flat, ready for the ritual of preparation that awaited it, preserving its beauty and dignity for the morrow. Ime, entinai. And thus, little by little, the cycle of toga care and adjustment continued, a quiet testament to the rhythm of Roman life. Each fold, each adjustment, was a practice in patience and respect for a garment that had woven itself into the very fabric of society. The toga, in its simplicity, embraced the mundane with grace, a gentle reminder of the beauty in routine and the stories that linger in the folds of time. And I made shy and by as the day drew to a close in ancient Rome, the careful rituals surrounding the toga continued to unfold. The sacred space of the home transformed into a sanctuary of comfort. In this tranquil setting, preparations for the next day's wear began. The toga, often accompanied by a delicate garment known as a tunica, would be gently laid out on a clean, flat surface, such as a wooden table or a woven mat. The tunica, made from light linen for warmer days, might be adorned with subtle embroidery, while the toga itself, a heavier wool fabric, offered warmth and a striking visual presence. The weight of the wool, combined with its soft texture, created a comforting embrace against the skin. Depending on the season, the toga could vary in color and thickness. In the summer months, lighter shades prevailed, while the winter saw deeper hues, often reflecting the wearer's status and personal taste. No. To maintain the toga's elegance, it was not uncommon for Roman citizens to own multiple togas. Each toga would be stored with care. A simple wooden chest or a dedicated area in a wardrobe would suffice. The chest itself, often crafted from local timber, might be lined with soft fabric to prevent wear. Each toga was folded with precision, ensuring that creases remained minimal. A well-folded toga would lie flat, its drapes ready to unfold at a moment's notice. In the morning, as the sun began its ascent, the ritual of donning the toga would commence. The wearer would first select the most suitable toga for the day's activities. Certain togas were deemed appropriate for specific occasions. The toga pura, a simple white garment, was favored for public appearances, while the toga pretexta, adorned with a purple border, was reserved for those of higher status. Once the toga was chosen, the wearer would stand before a polished bronze mirror, checking their reflection. The mirror's surface, though imperfect, offered a glimpse into the day's potential. A moment of calm silence would envelop the wearer as they took a deep breath, preparing to step into the day ahead. With the toga now selected, the wearer would begin the process of draping it gracefully over their body. The fabric, typically measuring around 6 to 7 meters in length, would be held in the left hand, and the right hand would bring the right edge over the shoulder, allowing the fabric to cascade down the body. This gentle folding required practice, as balance was key. Each fold was made with intention, ensuring a smooth line from shoulder to hem. The final adjustment was crucial. The toga had to be secured in place. A small cord, known as a zona, was often fashioned from leather or woven fabric. The zona would be wrapped around the body just below the chest, effectively holding the toga in place. The process of securing the zona was deliberate, as it provided both comfort and stability. Attention to detail did not end with the initial draping. Throughout the day, as Romans went about their activities, they would make subtle adjustments to their togas to maintain their appearance. A quick flick of the wrist might smooth out a wrinkle, while a gentle tug could reposition the fabric to ensure that it hung correctly. Among the various social classes, etiquette surrounding the toga was of utmost importance. Those of higher status, such as senators and magistrates, were expected to maintain pristine appearances. A well-kept toga was a reflection of one's respect for oneself and for the community. In contrast, the working class might adopt a more practical approach, prioritizing comfort over formality. Even the act of conversing while wearing a toga required a certain finesse. A slight turn of the body, the gentle flowing of fabric, and the careful positioning of the arms were all part of the art of communication. One did not simply speak. They performed, each gesture synchronized with the soft draping of their toga. Now, as the sun reached its zenith, the warmth enveloped the toga, creating an inviting sensation. The fabric absorbed the light, casting subtle shadows and highlights, transforming the wearer into a living embodiment of Roman culture. When the day began to wane and the sun sank low, the toga would be unwrapped with the same care it had been donned. The zona would be loosened, allowing the fabric to fall away gently. This ritual was akin to shedding the burdens of the day, a soft sigh of relief as the toga slipped off the shoulders. The fabric would be laid flat once more, ensuring the folds remained intact. In the evenings, the toga would often be brushed lightly to remove any dust or particles that had settled during the day. A simple, soft bristled brush, perhaps made from goat hair, would suffice for this task. Each stroke was met with mindfulness, as if coaxing the fabric back into its pristine state. Prior to storage, the toga might be lightly scented with oils derived from lavender or cedar, both prized for their calming fragrances. The oil, dabbed onto a cloth, would be pressed gently against the fabric, allowing the scent to infuse the wool. This practice not only preserved the material, but also created a soothing experience for the wearer upon the next donning. As the day drifted into night, the toga would rest, tucked away until the morning light greeted it once more. The cycle of care, adjustment, and appreciation continued, a thread woven into the rich tapestry of Roman life. The rhythm of toga care spoke to the essence of daily existence, a gentle reminder of the significance of small rituals. Each fold, every adjustment, was a moment of connection to a past that valued both simplicity and beauty. And so, the toga rested, a timeless garment cradling the stories of those who wore it. In the quietude of the evening, as the stars began to twinkle in the Roman sky, the fabric lay in anticipation of the day to come, ready to embrace the next chapter of its enduring journey. No, I seen, whoa, it was here, no, I'm sure, oh there, Tasha. As the dawn broke gently over the horizon, the sun cast soft rays upon the sleeping toga, nestled in its resting place. The air, cool and crisp, ushered in the promise of a new day, enveloping the fabric in a tranquil embrace. The first task of the morning was to retrieve the toga from its designated storage space. This space, often a wooden chest or an intricately woven basket, served as a sanctuary for the garment. Carefully crafted, these containers were lined with soft linen to protect the delicate fibers of the toga. As fingers brushed against the smooth wood or woven fibers, a sense of calm pervaded the atmosphere. The wearer would gently lift the toga, allowing it to unfold slowly, revealing the rich texture of the wool. The weight of the fabric, substantial yet comforting, served as a reminder of the care that had been taken the previous night. Next, the toga would be examined for any signs of wear or imperfections. This inspection was a mindful process, requiring both patience and attention. The wearer would run their fingers along the seams, noting any loose threads or areas that might need a little more care. If any minor repairs were necessary, simple tools would be gathered. A small needle, thin and pointed, would be selected from a nearby sewing kit, accompanied by fine, sturdy thread dyed to match the toga. The colors of the thread were chosen with care, as they should blend harmoniously with the garment. The needle would be threaded with a length of about 20 centimeters, a measure deemed suitable for small repairs. This length provided enough material to weave through the fabric without overwhelming the delicate threads of the toga itself. With the needle in hand, the wearer would settle into a comfortable position, perhaps on a low stool or a soft cushion. There, the gentle motion of stitching began, each pull of the thread creating a soothing rhythm. The soft thunk of the needle piercing the wool was calming, grounding the wearer in the present moment. Awaiting. If no repairs were needed, the focus shifted to the proper adjustment of the toga. The toga, when first donned, was often a bit unruly, needing careful placement to achieve the desired drape. The wearer would begin by holding the toga at the center, allowing the fabric to cascade down either side. With a gentle tug, the toga would be pulled across the chest, the left side draping down gracefully while the right side was secured. This was achieved with a simple knot or a series of folds that pinned the fabric in place. The folds, methodically arranged, created a pleasing visual balance, a harmony of fabric and form that was both elegant and functional. Still, the adjustments required patience. The toga might need to be pulled slightly higher at the shoulder. This adjustment ensured that the drape hung just so, neither too loose nor too tight. The fabric, with its weight and texture, demanded a gentle touch, one that acknowledged its history and importance in Roman society. The next step involved securing the toga around the waist. Often, a simple cord, woven from sturdy fibers, was used to cinch the fabric in place. This cord was typically about 1 meter long, allowing ample room to tie a comfortable knot. The knot, a refined bow, or a simple loop, not only held the toga securely but also added an additional layer of detail to the overall appearance. While dressing, the wearer might glance towards a polished bronze mirror, reflecting the soft morning light. The mirror served as a tool of reassurance, confirming that the toga, with its smooth lines and gentle folds, was presented as intended. Once dressed, the toga became more than a garment. It transformed into a statement of identity and belonging. Each fold and adjustment resonated with the social norms and expectations of Roman life. The toga was not merely clothing. It was a representation of status, culture, and tradition. The time spent adjusting and perfecting the toga was not rushed. It was woven into the fabric of the morning routine, a ritual that set the tone for the day ahead. This careful preparation was often accompanied by the sounds of the household waking, the soft rustle of servants preparing breakfast, and the distant chatter of neighbors rising to greet the day. As the sun continued to rise higher, the wearer would carefully choose accessories to complement the toga. A simple brooch or pin, crafted from bronze or silver, could add a touch of elegance to the ensemble. These accessories were chosen based on the occasion, reflecting both personal taste and societal norms. One Weisen. Ka. The brooch would be secured at the shoulder, holding the toga in place while also adding a decorative element. This small adjustment not only enhanced the visual appeal, but also provided a practical solution to any potential wardrobe malfunctions that might arise throughout the day. After dressing was complete, the final step involved a moment of reflection. The wearer would stand before the mirror once more, taking in the entirety of the ensemble, the toga flowing gracefully around the body. This brief pause allowed for a sense of calm to wash over them, an acknowledgement of the care taken in preparing for the day ahead. With everything in place, the wearer would take a deep breath, grounding themselves in the present moment. The toga, now perfectly adjusted, had become an extension of the self, ready to accompany them through the day's endeavors. As they stepped out into the world, the fabric would gently sway with each movement, a soft reminder of the careful attention devoted to its appearance. The toga's presence was a quiet affirmation of dignity and grace, a nod to the simplicity of Roman life, where each day began anew and routines provided a rhythm to the unfolding narrative of existence. And so, the journey of the toga continued. Each adjustment, each fold, a testament to the elegance of daily life in ancient Rome. The cycle of care and adjustment persisted, weaving a fabric of history that connected the past with the present, a gentle reminder of the beauty hidden within the mundane. In Pantan. As the day unfurled, the Roman citizen, dressed in their toga, would often find themselves revisiting the art of toga adjustment throughout their daily routines. This practice, while seemingly tedious, was an integral part of the experience of wearing such a significant garment. The fabric of the toga, usually made from wool, measured approximately 6 to 8 yards in length, depending on the stature of the individual. The large swath of material would sometimes require careful handling, ensuring that it draped correctly without any unsightly folds or shifts. The wool itself, often dyed in subtle hues of cream, white, or pale colors, carried with it a texture that was both soft yet resilient. The adjustment process began with selecting the right toga for the occasion, which could fluctuate based on social gatherings, formal events, or simple daily tasks. The toga's color and fabric weight held significance, guiding the wearer's choice. For instance, a lighter toga might be preferred during warmer months, allowing the fabric to breathe and move gently with each step. Once the toga was chosen, the individual would locate a designated space for preparation, often near a window or in a well-lit corner of the home. This area would be clear of distractions, allowing for focus and intention in the adjustment. The wearer would lay the toga flat and begin the process of wrapping it around their body. The initial step involved finding the midpoint of the toga, a crucial point that would act as the starting position for the draping. With the toga laid out, the next phase was to gather the fabric, using both hands to grasp the pleats at the middle of the garment. A gentle lift would create an initial fold, allowing the fabric to cascade down gracefully. The toga would then be wrapped around the body, one side crossing over the other, creating a soft, layering effect. It was essential to maintain a relaxed posture during this adjustment, as tension could lead to rough edges and uneven folds. The securing of the toga was achieved through a simple yet effective technique. A length of fibula, a brooch-like fastener, was often used. This small, practical tool, crafted from either bronze or silver, would hold the toga in place at the shoulder. The fibula served both a decorative and functional purpose, adding an element of style while ensuring that the toga remained securely fastened. The process of pinning the toga with the fibula required precision, as the placement dictated how the fabric would fall across the chest and back. As the toga was adjusted, the wearer would take a moment to examine the folds. Each pleat was carefully manipulated, creating a balanced and symmetrical appearance. The fabric needed to drape elegantly, flowing softly around the legs. It was common for the wearer to draw in their breath during this moment, allowing for a gentle tightening of the toga, ensuring it hugged the body just right. For many, the morning ritual of toga adjustment could take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the complexity of the desired style. Each minute was spent in quiet concentration, contemplating the day ahead, and setting intentions. This practice was often accompanied by a light stretching of the arms and shoulders, easing any tension that had built up overnight. The environment played a significant role in the adjustment process. The presence of sunlight could illuminate the fabric, showcasing its texture and color with a soft glow. A gentle breeze might carry the scent of fresh linen through the open window, creating a soothing backdrop for this daily task. The sounds of the bustling street below would serve as a reminder of the world outside, while the wearer settled into their toga, grounded in the present moment. As the day progressed, adjustments might be necessary. While attending public events or gatherings, the wearer would remain mindful of their toga's placement. A slight tug at the shoulder, or a gentle smoothing of the fabric, could occur throughout conversations. Each adjustment was a quiet acknowledgement of the garment's significance, a subtle dance of fabric that spoke to the wearer's status and dignity. In terms of storage, the toga was treated with care. When not in use, it would be hung on a finely crafted wooden hanger, allowing the fabric to maintain its shape and prevent any creasing. If the toga needed cleaning, it would be taken to a local fuller, a specialist in garment care. The fuller would soak the toga in a mixture of water and natural cleansing agents, ensuring the wool retained its softness while removing any dirt. This process could take several hours, and upon completion, the toga would be returned, fresh and ready for another day. The cost of a well-crafted toga varied, depending on the quality of the wool and the intricacies of the design. A simple toga might cost a few denarii, while a more elaborate garment, adorned with additional embellishments or dyed in rich colors, could command a higher price. This investment was seen as worthwhile, as the toga represented not only social standing, but also personal identity within the fabric of Roman life. Social etiquette also dictated the proper care and adjustment of the toga, which was a reflection of respect for oneself and those around. In gatherings, the wearer was expected to maintain a composed appearance. Therefore, a quick adjustment in the midst of conversation became a natural part of social interactions, often accompanied by polite smiles or nods of acknowledgement. Families often gathered in the evenings, sharing stories and experiences from the day. During these moments, adjustments to the toga could be discussed, with older family members imparting wisdom on the art of draping and care. These lessons were passed down through generations, weaving a narrative of tradition and identity. As the sun set, casting a warm glow through the windows, the toga would take on a new character, its fabric absorbing the day's experiences. A final adjustment might be made before settling in for the evening, ensuring comfort and ease as the wearer prepared for rest. The toga, though a simple garment, held within it the echoes of daily life, a quiet companion in the journey through time. Each fold and pleat told a story, a testament to the attention given to the mundane yet significant act of dressing. Little by little, the toga represented a connection to the past, a gentle reminder of the elegance found in the simplicity of routine. As the day began in ancient Rome, the sun would rise gently over the horizon, casting a soft light that illuminated the intricacies of everyday life. The morning routine for many citizens involved the deliberate process of selecting and adjusting their togas. A toga was not merely clothing. It was a symbol of status, identity, and connection to community. To begin, one would choose the toga that best suited the occasion. The most common type was the toga pura, a plain white garment worn by Roman citizens. The fabric was typically made from wool, known for its durability and warmth. Wool was the most widely available material, often sourced from local sheep farms. The cost of a toga could vary, but a simple toga pura might be procured for about 15 denarii, a price accessible to many. Once a toga was selected, the process of draping it began. This task was often performed in the early hours of the day, allowing ample time for adjustments before heading out to the forum or engaging in daily activities. The toga was a large piece of fabric, usually around 4 to 5 meters in length and 2 meters wide. This generous size allowed for a multitude of styles and adjustments, accommodating both the figure of the wearer and the social expectations of the day. To start, one would hold the toga at its center. The fabric would be gathered and then placed over the left shoulder, allowing the bulk of the toga to drape gracefully across the body. The right side would then be pulled under the arm, creating neat folds that cascaded down the torso. This method of draping was essential, as it not only provided a refined appearance, but also allowed for ease of movement throughout the day. Next, the toga would be wrapped around the body, completing the draping process. It was important to ensure that the toga was not too tight, as comfort was paramount for the wearer's ease and dignity. Adjustments would be made to create a balanced look, with the end of the toga flowing to the ground in a gentle sweep, just above the sandals. Every morning, a mirror would be utilized, whether a polished metal surface or a simple piece of reflective glass. This was a crucial tool in the toga adjustment process. One would stand before the mirror, inspecting the folds and creases, ensuring that each element sat perfect. If any part of the toga appeared uneven, slight tugs and pulls would be necessary, creating a sense of tranquility in the routine. Nasora, Sumo, Minzi Foro, Alrakin C. Yafoy Tia, Nay, Nati, Don Go. In addition to the draping, accessories also played a role in the overall presentation. A simple belt, known as a cingulum, might be worn around the waist to secure the toga in place. This accessory, often made of leather or woven fabric, was not only practical, but also added an element of style. The cingulum required careful placement, ensuring it sat comfortably without restricting movement. The process of tying the belt could take a moment, as one would want to achieve a harmonious balance. Sometimes, a decorative brooch or pin would be employed to fasten the toga at the shoulder, adding a touch of elegance. As the day progressed, individuals would engage in various activities, from attending public games to visiting temples. During such events, the toga might require further adjustments due to natural wear and the movements of daily life. The act of readjusting the toga became second nature, a fluid motion that intertwined with the rhythm of conversation and social interaction. At the marketplace, vendors would often catch glimpses of passers-by, their togas fluttering lightly in the breeze. A merchant might pause to adjust his garment, ensuring that it draped correctly while discussing prices. The gentle tugging of fabric was a common sight, a reminder of the practicality behind the elegance. In the home, family members would gather for meals, and the toga would remain a topic of conversation. The exchange of stories often included tips on maintaining the garment, emphasizing the importance of care. Wool togas required regular cleaning, and the process was meticulous, involving gentle washing with soap made from natural ingredients. The dried toga would then be pressed lightly to maintain its shape. This pressing was done with a wooden board, known as a calcaire, which ensured that the fabric remained smooth and free of wrinkles. The attention paid to these small details reflected a deeper appreciation for the garment itself and the role it played in everyday life. As the evening approached, individuals would begin to prepare for the transition into night. This often involved a final adjustment to the toga, ensuring it was comfortable for relaxation. The evening toga, perhaps a softer variant known as the toga exanimus, was often favored for its pliability. The fabric was lighter, allowing for a more relaxed fit as one settled into the evening routines. In the quiet of the evening, families would share their thoughts and reflections. The act of adjusting the toga became a soothing ritual, a moment to unwind and embrace the day's experiences. With each gentle readjustment, the wearer would feel a connection to their surroundings, a reminder of the day's journeys and interactions. The process of dressing and adjusting the toga, though seemingly mundane, encapsulated the essence of Roman life. Each fold symbolized a connection to society, while the care taken in adjustments spoke of respect for self and others. Little by little, the toga became more than just a garment. It was a narrative woven through the fabric of daily existence. As night fell, the toga would be laid out for the next day's adventures. Each evening, the fabric would rest, ready to embrace the wearer once more, ready for another day of gentle adjustments and quiet elegance. Thus, the cycle continued, a harmonious blend of fabric and life, draped in the simplicity of routine. As we have gently explored the intricacies of Roman toga adjustment guidelines, we have delved into the harmonious interplay between fabric and form, the subtle art of draping, and the gentle nuances of attire that shaped daily life in ancient Rome. We have observed the careful measurements, the soft folds, and the delicate balance required to achieve a dignified appearance, while also noting the occasional wardrobe mishaps that so many experienced. Now, as you settle into the soft embrace of your quiet room, allow your body to rest and your mind to drift, envisioning the soft fabric of togas flowing gracefully in the warm Roman sun. Remember the soothing cadence of our journey through history, as it invites you to find tranquility within. If you have enjoyed this gentle exploration, kindly consider subscribing or leaving a comment. And do not forget to turn on loop, so that the soothing rhythms of this video may repeat, guiding you into further relaxation. Now,